All right, I'm here with Peter Martin, software developer, having another short meeting on the Kerberus Project, software development. Peter's going to explain.
So as I showed the last time, I showed that I had filtering, and I was showing you this particular page which had the ability to filter. But I've now added, let me just change this view here. Okay. So now what I've added is some additional buttons. So before I had an activate filter button, I have two more: clear filter button and reset button. And I'll explain how those work.
Okay.
So as before, we have three types of filters. One, we can filter by children. We can filter by age, and we can filter for children that have unfelt videos. And we can multi-select filters, and they'll be additive. But let's just go for now something simple. So I've chosen two children. I press the activate filter button, which I showed before, and then it will filter the list for those children. Right. Now let's say, this other additional button I have is to clear the additional filters. So if I press clear filter, then basically I remove all the filtering, and then we present the view with no filtering once again.
Start again.
So that's new.
Basically,
so another thing I wanted to show is, let's suppose I have some filters, and I've activated the filter. So now we're filtering on these two children. And let's say I decide I want to start filtering by some other parameters, and then I change my mind. I want to remove that change, the filtering. Okay. Which I haven't applied yet. As long as I'm going to apply the change, I can revert the change by pressing the reset button. So now we clear that up, but we maintain the existing filtering.
Okay, nice feature that allows people to second guess themselves a little bit.
Yeah, well, it just allows making changes here without
calling up the whole
clobbering the existing filter.
Okay, and that also saves. When you think about it, it saves a step. Rather than going into the video or going into everything, they can just correct it right at the filter stage.
Or let's say for instance, they were on the video page and they wanted to go, as we showed before, click on a child, which would take them to the child page. They want to look at that particular child, and so they reviewed that information. But now they want to go back and they want to look at all the unfiltered list again. They would hit clear filter.
Oh, so they go back to their.
Before, what you had to do is you had to. If I had a filter, to clear the filtering, I had to go to another page and then come back to the page. It's a little clunky.
Okay.
The other thing that's important to note is that as I'm adding filtering, I'm modifying the URL automatically after I apply the filter. So let's say I have children. Give me children who are between 10 and 30. Apply that, we'll activate that filter. Now see that filter is now appears in the URL.
Part of the URL.
So the nice thing about that is, if let's say you send somebody a URL and they said this is a URL with that filtering applied, and they would just cut and paste the URL to the browser, it would bring up that page with the filtering that had been chosen.
Nice. That's assuming they have access.
Right. Well, that would be the assumption.
Yeah. Assumption is they have access. Yeah. Nice feature, Peter. Okay, and that's where we're at so far?
That's where we're at.
Okay. Thanks, Peter.